Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. The chandelier will descend one final time in Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera tonight at the Majestic Theater, and we're here on the red carpet to celebrate the show's 35-year history. Welcome back to the closing. How does it feel tonight for you?
It feels a bit confusing actually because I don't think that it should be closing. I mean, this show is it's kind of universal. Everybody loves the show all over the world. So I'm sure that this is only a moment in time and that it will come back shinier and newer and just as beautiful because people want it. Everybody all over the world seems to really identify with all the characters, the messages it's giving out about the human soul, really, and our vulnerability as human beings, and the things we all go through. So I think it's here for good. It's one of those evergreens.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite moment of working on this with like Hal Prince and working on this show originally?
The whole time that we were working with Hal and Gillian, all of them, and Andrew, it's just been such a pleasure. It's like you had all these wonderful people with all this talent that just knew exactly what to do, and it ran through like a train. It was beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful experience, the rehearsals.
Cameron, what does today mean to you, sir?
It's thrilling. I mean, to have had a show run this long and be such a success, and going out as triumphant as it came in, is a schoolboy's dream. And I'm so proud of this fabulous company and how Broadway has embraced this show for so long. And Phantom's great and will always be great. And I'm sure Phantoms disappear, but then they reappear.
Tonight is the final performance here, 35 years later. I mean, how you prep for something like that? Like, what's going to be going through your mind as you get backstage and get ready?
Well, the pressure is enormous, I must say, and so I think the only way to prep for it is just to keep it light, as one of my castmates said to me, and treat it like any other show, but of course it won't be any other show. I will be doing my very best to absolutely, give the performance of my life today, and I hope I'm able to do something along those lines. There's an enormous feeling of melancholy, I have to say, because we love this show so much, and we have been feeling how much New York and the world loves this production. It's been a very, very special home for so many of us, and I think we're just feeling a deep sense of gratitude and a real sense of an end of an era.
Yeah. What have you enjoyed the most about being a part of the Phantom family?
The fans. The fans are amazing. And there are people that come every single week that we see at stage door and we're like, hey, thank you for coming. Who just support and love the show. So, yeah.
And just like today, having all the alumni here and everything else, it's Sarah Brightman.
I just saw her. She looks amazing, first of all. She is so lovely. It's beautiful, right? The full circle, the beginning and then the end. And I'm just lucky to be a part of it. So.
What is so beautiful is that they embrace the newcomers, because I'm one of the babies in this company, and so you walk in the door and everybody welcomes you, and you become part of the legacy of this show, and that is truly so special.
Well, my first performance was I was Christine last century in Australia. So I have a long history. So I kind of got a little older and a little wiser, and now I get to play her mum. So.
For you, your first performance?
I remember it was reopening night after the pandemic was my first performance here. I was supposed to start before the pandemic, but we know how that turned out. And that was very emotional.
Yeah. How excited are you to be here tonight for this final closing performance?
Richie, I'm excited, but I'm also sad, and it's been an incredibly emotional day. I didn't expect to feel this amount of emotion, but I do. It's really, this is the end of an era,
You have quite a history with this show. Do you remember your first performance on stage as Christine?
You're gonna make me cry. I remember even more than that, I remember the dress rehearsal. I remember the first time that I ever rode the remote control boat. Spoiler alert, it's a remote control. Spoilers don't matter anymore. I remember that, and I remember feeling just so elated. I started jumping up and down. I remember seeing the smoke on the ground for the first time and feeling just like, oh my God, I'm part of this.
I'm been crying for about 24 hours. This is a big deal, and I wouldn't miss it for anything. I actually took the red eye home so I could make it. So yeah, very excited.
When did your history with Phantom begin, and who did you play?
I was Christine Daae. I reopened Broadway, but actually it began in Love Never Dies actually first, and then the World Tour, and then Broadway. So I have a lot of history with her.
Favorite moment in Phantom for you is what?
Ooh, it's so hard to choose from, but reopening night on Broadway, that was historic and once in a lifetime.
How excited are you to be here tonight, sir?
I am beyond excited. I am thrilled. I am moved. I have seen people I haven't seen in 25 years, and I'm so grateful to be invited to this night. This was the biggest part of my life. And I thank Hal Prince and Andrew Lloyd Webber and everyone that got me to this place. Like 6 years, over 2,000 performances.
The original Madame Giry, how does it feel to be here tonight?
It's very emotional. I mean, I feel the thrill of the early days of the show. We didn't know that it would be as fabulous as it turned out to be.
Yeah.
But it was, and it still is.
Do you remember your first performance on stage as Christine?
Oh my goodness, January 29th, I think it was, 1998, right after the 10-year anniversary. And I was here the night we broke the record and became the longest running show of all time. But to be able to be here tonight to see the final curtain come down is just a dream, really. I'm so excited, so proud to have been a part of this Phantom family.
And for you, do you remember your first performance on stage?
Oh my goodness. My first was as the Phantom was at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. in 97?
97.
Yeah, that was the first one. And then L.A. after that and a few other cities. But I've also been here so many times as a cheerleader for my wife. I used to sit in box 5 where the Phantom famously sat and just watch her kill it with Hugh Panero, with Howard McGillin, with so many, Thomas James O'Leary, so many wonderful Phantoms.
How could we miss this? 35 years, it just seems like in the blink of an eye. But we have to thank the founders of the show for writing such exquisite show with this exquisite storyline of unrequited love that everybody loves. And it's so luscious and romantic that I think it could run for another 35 years, don't you?
Yes.
I don't know why it's closing, but Cameron's got something in mind, I'm sure.